Hello, you're watching India Today. I'm Akshita Nandagopal, and in this video, we're getting you a roundup of the top South stories of the day. Andhra Chief Minister Jagan Reddy visits Tirupati amid political slugfest. Protests break out as opposition and Hindu groups claim Jagan has ignored Hindu sentiments. Sandalwood drug case probe intensifies. Actor Digant questioned for second time, says he will cooperate with the CCB's investigation. Political face-off in Karnataka over graft allegations against Yediyurappa. Congress demands judicial probe. Yediyurappa's son hits back and calls charges baseless. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Palaniswami writes to Prime Minister Modi on controversial culture committee, says Tamilians have been ignored, demands reconstitution of the panel. And Kerala government is likely to file a petition against the farm reforms on Supreme Court, left government consulting legal experts on the move. Amid this entire controversy and the opposition's protests against the Andhra Chief Minister, Jagan Reddy was seen participating in the rituals at Tirumala temple during the annual Brahmotsavam. Keeping up with tradition, he presented a pattu vastram, which is silk robes, to the presiding deity on behalf of the state. Jagan Reddy is a Christian by faith, and in fact all the demands by the opposition and Hindu groups that he should follow the decades-old tradition of signing the declaration form was ignored. Jagan didn't sign that, leading once again to widespread protests. Bajrang Dal activists held a protest outside the house of Jagan Reddy. This is his house in Jubilee Hills in Hyderabad. The Hindu group got together holding a protest saying that he had ignored Hindu sentiments and didn't follow the decades-old norm in Tirupati. You also had the TDP staging a protest. This was in Chittoor. They staged protests, in fact, across Andhra Pradesh against Jagan Reddy, questioning why he didn't sign the mandatory declaration before entering into the Tirumala temple. The TDP leaders urged the Chief Minister to hold the traditions of the temple by declaring his faith in the deity. Remember that the controversy is over the fact that any non-Hindu who enters the temple is expected to sign a declaration saying that he or she believes in Lord Venkateshwara. Over to the latest in the Sandalwood drug scandal. The Central Crime Branch has intensified its probe in the case. Kannada actor Digant was questioned for 3 hours for the second time by the crime branch for his alleged role in the case. Digant was questioned last week with his wife Andhra Rai, who is also a popular Kannada actress. This time, only he has been summoned and was questioned by the cops. The hunt, meanwhile, continues for accused Aditya Alva. Digant, while speaking to the media, stated categorically that he will continue to cooperate with the investigation.
So ಮುಂದಿನ ಸತಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಕರೆದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಂದು ಕೋಆಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
There's also a political controversy brewing in Karnataka. Randeep Surjewala, who's in fact been appointed as the AICC General Secretary in charge of Karnataka, went to all guns blazing against the state government and particularly against Chief Minister Yediyurappa, accusing him of graft and saying that the BJP government was engulfed in corruption. He demanded Yediyurappa's resignation over graft charges against his family members in a Bengaluru Development Authority, that's a BDA project. Surjewala also demanded a judicial probe headed by a sitting Supreme Court judge or a High Court Chief Justice, and he said that that must be ordered to look into the allegations. Response coming in from the BJP, you had Yediyurappa's son B.Y. Vijayendra taking to Twitter to allege that the Congress leader Surjewala has parroted false and libelous charges made by a private news channel. He tweeted, and I quote, Surjewala aware that the channel aired false stories and in contempt of court orders and has been using language that's uncivilized and unbecoming of a news channel. It's a pity Surjewala ended up as a spokesperson of a private channel.
The stunning and stinging allegations of corruption against the son, the grandson and the son-in-law of Chief Minister Shri B.S. Yediyurappa have shocked the conscience of the entire state and the nation. The alleged collusion and bribery in the rupees 666 crore worth of project for construction of apartments by the Bangalore Development Authority has bewildered, shocked and appalled everyone.
कौन सा रिपोर्ट आया है सीएम करप्शन करप्ट है बोल के? सीबीआई दिया है क्या? सीएजी रिपोर्ट दिया है क्या? ये सुरजेवाला कांग्रेस का जनरल सेक्रेटरी है, उनको बोलना ही पड़ेगा। पहली बार आया है, प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस किया है, सो कांग्रेस हमारा बीजेपी का सीएम को रेसिग्नेशन पूछे है। विजेंद्र को बेटा है, स्टेट वाइस प्रेसिडेंट है, उनको आगे जाने के लिए मौका नहीं देना, उनको ब्लैकलिस्ट में डालना।
In Tamil Nadu, there's a war of words playing out over the fact that a culture committee that's been set up by the central government has no representation from South India. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Palaniswami has written to Prime Minister Modi over the constitution of this expert panel to study Indian culture. EPS in his letter says that there has been no representative from southern states, especially from Tamil Nadu, and has requested the Prime Minister's personal intervention in the matter. The letter from the Chief Minister said, and I quote, "The said committee has no representative from any of the southern state. Tamil Nadu has a glorious past and is home to one of the oldest civilizations, that is the Dravidian civilization, a living and thriving culture in the south of India." This particular statement from Edapadi Palaniswami comes soon after MK Stalin had also demanded that the Prime Minister reconstitute the 16-member Cultural Ministry Committee. The DMK President has in fact raised questions over the exclusion of Tamil Nadu completely in this committee that's been formed by the centre, and also asked why 6 members who are proficient in Sanskrit had been added in this committee.
The BJP has been on a concerted effort to promote Sanskrits and upper caste Hinduism. That is the biggest problem, and we are opposed to that. This is an attempt at Sanskritization and saffronization. BJP is a Hindi majoritarian party, and they think the only culture that matters to them is the Hindi culture, Hindi speaking people's culture, and others from Northeast India, no representatives. And it also exposes the patriarchal mindset of the BJP and the RSS. There is not even a single woman representative. When we say the goddesses, everybody are revered as women, there is no representative in the cultural committee for a woman. This is the sorry state of affairs of the BJP party and the RSS.
And in Kerala, the government has decided to seek legal advice to challenge the farm bills that were passed by Parliament, and the left government could approach the Supreme Court. In fact, Pinarayi Vijayan has slammed these particular reforms and said that it's an attack on democracy and is affecting farmers' livelihoods. Pinarayi Vijayan also said that more than 60,000 farmers have died by suicide in the last 6 years, and that's why the central government is enacting a legislation that could make the life of peasantry miserable forever, and there's a need to stand up against it. In lieu of this statement, the Kerala government could be going ahead and approaching the Supreme Court and filing a plea against this reform, saying that they do not want to implement it in the state of Kerala. Remember, the Kerala government had taken similar steps against the CAA and NRC, saying that they do not want to implement it in Kerala and approach the Supreme Court in that matter. Right now, the Kerala government is seeking legal opinion on the same. That's it from me in this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll continue keeping you updated on all the big stories from South India.